Here we are again, together on YouTube. Today, we're going to take a look at the housing market. We're going to do this by looking at an article from the Financial Times, published August 20, called Britain's Mysteriously Robust Housing Market. We're going to compare this with some data from the Swedish housing market. Let's get right into it. Britain's housing market appears to be defying gravity. Although the country is experiencing its deepest recession on record, prices have remained robust and transactions have resumed. Expectations that interest rates will remain low have helped boost house prices alongside gold, tech stocks and many other assets. But the question remains for how long the UK's property market can keep resisting economic forces pulling prices down. Now, by economic forces pulling prices down, they probably mean the high unemployment rate and a general fear about consumer confidence being lower. So prices have recovered in the UK. Let's take a look at the Swedish market. Here's a graph from Stockholm, in a community there, of the price development per square feet in Swedish kronor. We can see that it peaked in February, and in March, when the corona came, prices started to drop. But now they are recovering. More on this later. Now, while Britain's economy shrank by a fifth during the second quarter of 2020, house prices were about 1.7% higher than the year before in July, according to the National Building Society. Official data is not yet out, but transactions also appears to be on the rise. A closely watched survey by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors showed new instructions from sellers and inquiries from buyers were up sharply during July. Now, the data may be lacking a bit, but if you ask a real estate agent today in Sweden, they will tell you that the market is picking up pace. The housing market is showing a lot more transactions, a lot more sellers wanting to sell, and a lot more buyers wanting to buy. So this picking up steam is not something unique to Britain. It's also happening in Sweden. Let's get into some of the reasoning that the Financial Times is bringing up. Now, partly this reflects pent-up demand. Neither buyers nor sellers were able to act when the economy was under the strictest lockdown. House viewings were some of the first economic activity to resume, but it takes a lot longer to buy a house than to order a drink from a bar. Many of those who could work from home saved money on their commute and other associated costs while noticing, once again, all the things they did not like about their house. The government, too, has added to demand by cutting the rate of stamp duty, a tax levied on transactions. And let's also look at some final reflections before ending this video. Generally, house prices drops have been both a cause and a consequence of recessions. Accounting for inflation, house prices fell by about 30% during the 2008 financial crisis and never regained their pre-crisis highs, according to calculations by the Resolution Foundation think tank. Consumer confidence is closely tied to the value of what is usually a household's largest asset. Lower prices can also feed through into lower investment spending. Mortgages represents the bulk of banks' assets, and construction is among the most volatile part of national income. Now, consumer confidence is closely tied to the value of what is usually a household's largest asset. I think this is some good reflection indeed. When you feel secure on your job, and when you feel that the future is bright, as a consumer, you don't mind taking on debt to buy a nice home. So to see this reflected in the economy seems very reasonable. Thank you for listening today.